Let's go out to the fan hotline. We'll talk to your colleague from Cleveland.com, one of our favorites. She is Kay Cabot, and she joins us here on the fan. Hello, Kay.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
We are good. We're trying to get ready for this Browns-Steelers game and really just in anticipation of what exactly Dillon Gabriel can do in his second start. What is the expectation for Dillon from you today?
Well, I really do believe that Dillon has got to find some rhythm in the passing game. You cannot try to rely on Quinshon Judkins to run the ball all the time because the Steelers are too good against the run, and they will do nothing but stack that box. So he's got to find some rhythm in the passing game, and probably it's going to have to be more so the short passing game and some things over the middle. So I would really be trying to exploit the connection that he developed last week with David Njoku. That needs to continue, and David traditionally has had some really good games against the Steelers. So they're going to have to try to work on that. And then also Harold Fannin. I think both of the tight ends can be instrumental in helping the Browns win this football game. Now, Harold caught 4 of 4 last week, but for only 13 yards. So they need to get him revved up and going a little bit. And then also, he's got to find a way to connect with Jerry Jeudy and make Jerry Jeudy viable in this passing game. And if you don't want to take those big, deep shots downfield, those low percentage passes, then you've got to find another way. And you have to get the ball into Jerry Jeudy's hands and let him run after the catch. He can't just be an afterthought in this game, and he can't just be missing from the stat sheet like he has been. So those are some things that Dillon is just going to have to do, and he will be protected on the left side by Cam Robinson and on the right side by Jack Conklin. So he should have some decent protection, and he will definitely need it.
Mary Kay, now that Flacco is gone, is Shedeur Sanders, when they say he's a play away, does that create a shorter leash for Dillon Gabriel, or are they going to take a nice long look at him? Like today, I think Tomlin's going to do a really nice job of taking away that short passing game. And if he's unable to stretch it deep, do you see a possible change at quarterback sooner than later with Shedeur Sanders?
You know, the plan is certainly not to have a short leash on Dillon Gabriel. That's not it at all. They really want to see what Dillon can do over a long period of time. They want to see him start as many games as possible. But with this offense and with this passing game really struggling, you just never really know how long the leash is going to be. They certainly did not want Joe Flacco to be out of town by now. They thought that would probably go better than it did. So it's unpredictable. It's really unpredictable. And, you know, this is an experiment this season at quarterback. That's really what it is. And so I can't honestly say what I think is going to happen for sure because everything is on the table right now. I wouldn't necessarily say it means a shorter leash for Dillon Gabriel, but he's got to be able to get some completions and find some completions. Now, having said that, these two guys run different types of offense, and it will be hard, I think, for Shedeur Sanders to step in and run a Dillon Gabriel-oriented scheme, which involves RPOs and movement and keepers and all those kinds of things. So I don't think that Shedeur can necessarily just step right in and be efficient in that. I actually thought it would probably be better to wait and have Shedeur go in and play his own designed game plan just for him to, work on, to feature his field vision and his elite accuracy and those kinds of things. But this season just is not going the way anybody planned.
Mary Kay, I saw you tweeting earlier today about some of the positives that you've seen from Shedeur Sanders. I heard you earlier on the week with Ken and Anthony, and you were talking about some of the same things you had in the tweet, the elite accuracy and some of the things we've known about Shedeur for a while. But in your opinion, have you seen the progression of Shedeur in a week-by-week basis, and how do you feel like the Browns have seen it in this elevation as well?
Well, we don't get to watch very much of practice anymore, but in the short little brief period that I do get to watch him throw, he is throwing to the practice squad guys and the backup receivers in the early part of practice. We can see it, and his elite accuracy is always on display. And not only is it just accuracy, it's the fact that he has the kind of arm talent where he can vary the ball speed, he can throw it from different arm angles, he can do a lot of things to make it a catchable ball. And I think that goes a long way. If you talk to receivers, that's what they want. They want to be able to catch the football. And that really wasn't happening this season with Joe Flacco. There were so many drops. So I think that's going to be something that they can really capitalize on when Shedeur gets in there. The fact that he'll take something off of it. Sometimes he's accused of not having the strongest arm in the world. part of that is because he will definitely lob it and, throw a softer pass if that's what's needed in certain situations. And he'll do whatever it takes to get it there. And that 74% accuracy, which was an FBS high, that's legit. That's not because he's, not throwing it away or he's not wanting to throw the Hail Mary or whatever the case may be. That is a legit statistic from what I've seen.
Mary Kay, I've worked with you for a number of years now, and every time you're interviewing Kevin Stefanski before or after practice, he kind of gives you the same verbatim answer for almost everything you guys ask. I felt this week he cracked a little bit when he found out Joe Flacco was traded. Do you see a little bit of more division between him and Andrew Berry, or maybe they're not aligned like they once were?
No, not at all. No, I think that was a misconception this week when Kevin Stefanski said that he was surprised by the Joe Flacco trade. They were all surprised by the Joe Flacco trade. As of Monday, before the Bengals called, they did not think at all that he was going to be traded, and they believed that he would be on the team for the rest of the season. They weren't going to cut him. They were going to keep him around, and they really didn't think that anybody was going to be clamoring for Joe Flacco. Nobody was after him when they were signing him in April. So they just didn't think it was going to happen like that. But things change in the NFL, and, and this changed very quickly. And once the Bengals assured the Browns, and I have this in my insider today, once they assured the Browns that Joe Flacco was going to be starting for them and that they weren't just exiling him somewhere to sit on the bench, they felt comfortable with making that trade because they knew it would be good for him and they wanted to do right by him as well as themselves. So that's how that went down. And Kevin Stefanski was apprised of that, and he was part of that from the moment the Bengals first called on Monday. Kevin knew what was up with that, and then also knew before the trade happened on Tuesday that it was going to happen. So the surprise came in the fact that the Bengals called the Browns to make the trade. Those guys are aligned. They're in lockstep. They do everything together all the time. Andrew doesn't make these decisions without consulting with other people in the building, including Kevin.
Do you think the play of Gabriel last week and maybe Shedeur at practice, do you think that made it a little bit easier? Because right now they got two rookies running the show. Do you think that helped a little bit with the decision?
Well, I think that with Joe Flacco, the truth of the matter is with where this team is going in its future, he just wasn't going to be playing anymore. He was certainly not going to start another game. This is all now about Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders and what these guys can do for the rest of the season and what they can show before they head into that 2026 draft with the 2 first-round picks. So Joe was really just going to be kind of a mentor, and that, you don't come back to play football at the age of 40 if you're going to be sitting on the bench behind 2 rookie quarterbacks. So this is really good for him. And as you can see, he's starting today for the Bengals, and he has really good receivers to throw to. So I think it was definitely beneficial for Joe, and we'll have to see how this goes. I was saying to one of my colleagues this morning, I'm like, when Dillon comes off after a series and something didn't go well, is he going to be able to walk over to Shedeur and say, "Hey, what did you see on that?" And,
Right.
and have Shedeur be able to help him out? I mean, I don't know. I suppose that's possible, but he's going to really have to rely on Bill Musgrave to be another pair of eyes for him today on what he's seeing out there and what's happening.
Fantastic insight as always, Mary Kay. We'll be reading you and taking everything in at cleveland.com after the game and all game long, and we hope you enjoyed the game, and we'll talk to you next week. Thank you so much.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff right there from our friend Mary Kay Cabot on the fan hotline. Yeah, it is a good point at the very end, because I had that same running thought too, where it's like, because the backup quarterback's supposed to help out the starting quarterback coach, obviously, and it's supposed to be another set of eyes in many ways. And in this instance, I know Shedeur is a good teammate. No one's ever questioning that. That's not what I'm getting at. But I do think it'd be incredibly hard. You really have to be a team-first guy, and maybe he is just that. So I don't want to say one thing or anything like that, but it would be really hard to be like, I saw this will make us better, even when it's going to potentially keep you on the bench even longer and making Dillon look better.
Well, it goes both ways, though. So when he comes off, the information he gets from Dillon is very important, too. So it benefits him as well. So if he sees a coverage, but this linebacker does something, or they did this against this coverage, against this down and distance, and they do it a little bit differently, or they had different tells this week where the defensive back's eyes were, or where they line up, you can only see that some things from the field. So as much as whether he's a team player or not, which I think he is, he seems like he's a great.
I think he is.
Yeah,
and I think you do the right thing, and it'll work out in the end.
But in the end, it benefits him as well to know what Dillon is seeing as well. So it goes both ways.
It's an interesting partnership where at times we've seen Dillon. It seemed like he took a couple shots at Shedeur through the media in certain ways, and in other ways it's putting Dillon in a weird spot too. They got the rookie photo where they all do the wrist up, and everyone is there doing the wrist up, but Dillon Gabriel in that photo, and it's like they've been in an odd spot because usually as a rookie quarterback, you're not going up against another rookie quarterback. It's usually you have somebody else that's been in the NFL for a while. It's not rookie versus rookie, but it's what we have today.